live on the radio. And here goes the countdown. And I'll introduce you, Sal, and then you can introduce Cheryl. I kind of wish I wrote that, but it wasn't me. Anyway, I'm Doc G, and we have the Mayor of Rock and Roll, Sal Serchia here. This is the Mayor of Rock and Roll and Friends, and this is, oh my God, what a friend this is. From everything that I've known that this lady has done, she's an amazing woman and just a pro at everything. So, Sal, introduce our lady.
Okay, before we start, we're going to give a shout out to Paul, who's watching right now, who made the poster. Cheryl, he made that wonderful poster with your pictures on it and the music and all that. So we got to give a shout out to Paul. Also, a shout out to Fran, who's had the flu for the past 2 weeks. Still can't get rid of a flu, so she would have been on if she was not sick. But I'm sure she's watching, and she's probably said, "Oh, thank you, Sal, for mentioning me." But anyway, we have tonight, my goodness, from the '80s, one of the all-female groups from the 80s with hit songs and greatest hit CDs that you can still find in stores. And I saw it at Walmart, as a matter of fact, but they still have those kind of, but the one that's on the poster. They're the only ones who still sell CDs. You can't find CDs anywhere else. But Cheryl is the original guitarist from the band, the 80s band, all-female band called Klymaxx. And let's have a big hand for Cheryl.
Yay!
Yeah, baby.
I swear I love this lady. I had all my entertainment.
Well, speak of the flu, I'm getting over bronchitis myself. So if I have to take a little sip, I apologize.
No, I got it right over here. Depending on what you got. I got, what is this? Gatorade, 0. 5 calories. But you can have the hard stuff if you want. That's good for the congestion. A nice shot never hurt nobody. Right? And Cheryl, I want to ask you, you started, I looked up a few things, and you started playing guitar, taking lessons at 11 years old.
Yeah. My sister, who is 16 years older than I am, she was married to a jazz musician by the name of Hubert Laws. And he was on tour with Mongo Santa Maria, and they were, staring at my parents' house. And for some reason, my parents always gave me a toy guitar every other Christmas. And he had a guitar, even though he's a professional flautist, he had a guitar. And so I ran out with my guitar and said, "See, I got a guitar too." And then I started playing it, and it was accidentally tuned to a TV show. Hey, what can I say? So my sister jumped up and said, "Hey, let's get Cheryl some guitar lessons." And so pretty much, like I said, there were 16 years between us. The guitar was basically my playmate at home because, she had gone on and, I was the only.
Hope we didn't lose you, Cheryl.
Yeah, she froze up. That's okay. The internet's always doing that.
Oh, my God.
That's okay.
Hope she comes back. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Oh, there she goes. She's laughing. All right. You froze up a little. We freeze up. Internet connection happens, So when you had your toy guitar, did it actually have 6 strings, or was it like some toys just have like 4 strings on it?
Right. It had gone down to 3 strings, but it was tuned to a TV show called Secret Agent Man.
Oh my goodness, I remember that show.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it only has three strings. What are you playing? So yeah.
And I could relate because I had a 1-string guitar, and I used to just play like boom, like almost playing like a bass. So I had 1 string on it. It was so a guitar somebody threw away.
Yeah.
Now, also, you guys were the only female band to ever chart on the Rhythm and Blues and Funk Billboard magazine. That's really cool. That's nice.
Yeah, the only R&B all-female band. Yeah, I mean, we're the only one still that has charted on billboards. I mean, there have been backup bands, sure, all-female backup bands, but as far as the artists, we are still the only R&B all female band. Yeah.
Well, and that's amazing too, because to just meet that type of standard and none before and none after,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what really gives me a lot of pride too, and continuing to perform the Klymaxx legacy and perform the music, and have all the concert goers and still enjoy the music and the idea of an all-female band. I mean, a lot of times people don't know or don't remember, and when they see us on stage, it's like, oh wow, that's a bunch of girls.
I would like for the new generations to like it because they weren't born in the 80s.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, for all the generations. Yeah, I mean, it's a great reminder and a great, first seed type of thing. So, yeah, I'm very proud to, have been given the opportunity to perform Klymaxx and being an all-female band and be noted and, play happy music.
No, that's good. Cheryl, Irene Rogers says, I love your music. I was listening to it earlier today.
Oh, gosh. Let me see if I can see the comments.
Hi, Irene.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can see them. Oh, wow.
Thank you, Irene. We appreciate that. We really appreciate that. And I'm sure Cheryl does too.
Yes.
Irene has become a real big fan of the show. She's been like watching every week,
Oh, nice.
And commenting. And I told her, she said, thank you for having such a great show. That's thank you for watching, because without you guys, we'll know who's going to be watching.
Yeah,
so we need the audience, like with a band. Without the audience, we'd be playing up there by ourselves,
Sure, yeah. And then that's what I was saying. I really appreciate that, the fans and the concert goers, the ticket buyers, they've heard the song 100 times. Maybe they've never heard it before, but, they're out there and they're buying those concert tickets and coming to see us. So I'm honored to be able to be up there and perform for them.
Oh, that's so nice.
And you guys still do some shows sometimes, right?
Yeah. We actually just got finished playing a Valentine's Day show in San Diego, California. And our next show is in Bethesda, Maryland, on May 17th, and in Las Vegas, May 31st. So yeah, we're still out there performing and having a great time with it, and really appreciating the fun and enjoyment of the music.
That's fantastic. What did Irene just say?
She said, I'm so excited to see you all. Oh, thank you, Irene.
Oh.
I miss and love meeting.
You're the best, Irene.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
I miss and love meeting in the ladies' room.
Yeah.
Was that a song?
Oh.
I don't think I've ever met her in the ladies' room. I don't remember.
Ladies are in here talking about their band.
So with your music, Cheryl, let me ask you the question. With your music, how did you guys write all the great songs that you have done? I mean, I know it's a generic question, but it's just like, we were on Solar Records at the time, and then they changed to a label called Constellation, but it was still the same company. And a lot of the writers and artists there contributed a lot of the music that Klymaxx recorded. But we also, wrote some of our own songs, like The Men All Pause and I Miss You. And actually, Midnight Star wrote Meeting in the Ladies' Room. Oh, that's what... See, now I didn't even ever knew that song.
Yeah. And actually, it's a true story. You want to hear it?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure. Yeah. Elaborate. Thank you.
So,
absolutely.
One night, one of the guys from Midnight Star was out with this girl at a club, and they were enjoying themselves. And one of the girls from Klymaxx came in and saw him, was all excited, ran over and hugged and kissed him. And the girlfriend was a little upset. So she got up from the table and went to the ladies' room. And he thought, wow, that's a good idea for a song. Meeting in the ladies' room.
She said yes. Now, I mean, as a DJ, I should know that, but I don't know all the songs. I can't know all the songs.
Yeah, well, I've kind of forgotten some too. I have to look at that and go, oh yeah, I remember that song. Yeah. I mean, we did 5 albums, so I admit I'm not going to remember each and every title.
She says she totally enjoyed Klymaxx back
Now,
in my day, and of course, Crystal Eyes. That sounds like a great song.
oh, Crystal Eyes, that's me. She's talking about my band, Crystal Eyes. I guess she's got Klymaxx and Crystal Eyes.
That's exactly right.
Gene is just a solo artist. So.
You're right. We
were pretty hot in the 80s and 90s too.
I mean,
even now, that's my band, Crystal Eyes. That's what
that is. That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. So ask Cheryl about some of your music questions.
What's that?
Ask Cheryl about some of your music questions, because you're a songwriter, singer. You play music.
You guys were freezing up. That's why I was like, what happened? Buffering too a little bit. I must be getting a bad reception. Now, Cheryl, the song "I Miss You" was a big hit for you guys. Were you one of the songwriters on that song?
No, that was actually written by the keyboard player. She says that it was a true experience of being on the road, missing your family, and the relationship she was in wasn't going so well since she was doing so much traveling. So it's again, it's one of those real life situations.
Did your band ever have? I mean, there's a lot of bands in the 80s and 90s that I knew that they didn't understand the music business that well, so they wondered, why is she making more money than me? They didn't know about publishing. I'm sure you know about that. And I know a lot of bands, friends of mine, were like mad at the other person who wrote the song. But why are you making more money than me? Because I wrote the song. But they don't know that. A lot of them didn't know the reason why. They thought they should just be getting paid evenly. For bands is one thing, but songwriting is another.
I mean, you have to remember too, there was nowhere for us to learn. It was like we was on the job training kind of thing. If you did run into a mentor that said, this is how it goes, this is how it doesn't go, that was very rare. So, when you think about it, we were kind of on the job training and learning things as we went, and what I always tell people, especially some of the younger people coming into the industry, the main thing I always say is the most important thing is save money, put money aside. I don't care if you get performance money, you get writer's money, you get publishing money, you get residuals from something. Put some money aside, because the music business fluctuates. So there may be some days that you're making $10,000 a day, and there's another month where you're not making a dime. So I always tell them, put money aside. And that was one of the things that even if I wasn't taught about all the intricacies about the publishing and the recording aspect, the fact that I was taught about put money aside, and I had also come from a banking career. So I knew to put money aside. I knew, someday I'm going to need this, not foreseeing when, but just put it aside. So, there's going to be times when some people make more money and some people don't, but just put money aside. So those that are making more than you, they may not be able to ride it out like you can. Literally, when you think about it, it's not even so much how much you make, but how you use your money, how you make the money work for you. That's the main thing. How you can make $10 a day and live good. I'm just being hypothetical and live.
You're 100% right.
$10, and somebody's making $10,000 a week, and they're asking you, "Can I borrow some money?"
What you're saying right now is me and my wife, 100%.
Yeah.
My wife makes so much money, and I make peanuts, and she's always asking me for money because she spends it faster than she makes it. We go to Atlantic City, she'll be dropping those $100 bills in the machine like it's nothing. Me, I got $10 in my pocket. I go to Atlantic City, and I come back home with $10 in my pocket.
Right.
But it's true. It's like anything. It's true. It's not how much you make; it's how much you spend. 100%.
Yes. Absolutely. So, I want to address what Irene was saying because she's kind of telling my story. But what happened was I was working in a bank in Inglewood, California, and I was telling my supervisor about this all-female band I was in. And she said, "Oh, if you give me a demo tape and a promo picture, I'll give it to my uncle. He's a producer for Peebo Bryson." And but let me just step back, pause that for just a moment. I have to say, I had a dream, a premonition, a nightmare, whatever you want to call it. And I remember seeing myself on stage playing guitar, getting ready to step up to the microphone and sing. And the crowd is in the lights, the crowd is going, the lights are going. And I remember looking to my right and looking at the band going, oh, gee, they're kind of odd looking. But continuing on, stepped to the mic and sung the note. Fast forward, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. We're performing at the Olympic Auditorium. The lights are going, the sound's going, the crowd's going, the band's playing. Deja vu. And I'm thinking, what was it about the band I didn't understand? So I looked to my right and I looked at the band and it was like, oh, it's an all-female band. I'm telling you, this is what happened to me.
So you manifested what you wanted in life.
Right. So being at the bank and this lady, this lady said, oh, let me give it to my uncle. He's a producer and he's, taking this tape. I was expecting it. I had already seen it. I knew it was coming.
I love it.
So, we give him the demo tape. He listens to it and he didn't like it.
No, he didn't like it.
But the record company did.
But yes, he was having lunch with one of the vice presidents at Solar Records. He said, I got this all-female band. I don't think they sound like. She said, all-female band, let me hear it. So she took it. She could see the potential. And I'm telling you, they signed us immediately. I think we were together as a band, less than 6 months. And we were signed to a record deal immediately. Now, the record deal didn't start until a few months later, but we were in the band rehearsing. This lady comes, Dick Griffey, the president of Solar Records, comes. We are signed immediately. I was expecting it. I knew that I knew it was happening. I was just waiting for everybody to catch up to my dream.
Wow. You already visualized it before it even happened.
Yes.
And that's amazing. I was going to ask you, how long were you with the band before you got signed? And you already answered that question. Wow.
Yeah. And even I had been, I had already graduated college. I got my music degree. I was playing with different bands in Los Angeles area. And, I saw these girls looking in the rehearsal room at me and stuff. I knew what they were looking because, I'm not, there's not that many female guitar players, right? And they just walked in the room and said, hey, you don't want to play with this band. You want to play with our band. We have an all-female band called Klymaxx.
Oh, so it was the original name too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And interesting enough, I could tell that they weren't at the same musicianship level I was. So I didn't go to the rehearsal. I was like, nah, I'm not going to mess with it. And then that little voice in my head, oh, you should have called them. Why don't you just go ahead and see? That little voice. And I called her, when's your next rehearsal? They said, oh, it's tomorrow. And I thought, okay, I'll be there. But what drew me to it is that they were having fun. It wasn't about getting to the next gig, didn't get the next gig and make that dollar. It was about having fun. And that's what kept me there. They made me the musical director of the group. We learned how to play songs off the radio. I showed them how to make a demo tape. And that was the demo tape that got us the record deal. So I was prepared. I knew that I was going to happen.
And that's incredible too. Real quick, I was saying that's incredible too, because when you love something, it's not work. It's fun. It's enjoyable. You can't wait to do it. But when you got to do it because, hey, I want to make that money. I want to do it. Yeah, everybody wants to, but do you love your job? And you actually loved your job.
Yes, definitely. Yes. And even working at the bank was still also part of the plan because, not only did they make me the music director, but they also, made me the treasurer. And I, remember now we're in our young 20s. So I had the skills to teach them how to have a checking account. How, when you get your money, put in checking account, pay your bills. I went back in those days, you could do this. I went to the bank and I opened up everybody a checking account so that when we got paid from shows, I put everybody on a salary so that we get money every week. Again, save your money every week, even though we were playing or not playing, everybody got money deposited into their checking account.
See, you took care of him. You took care of him as like a mama bear. You were watching him as, I'm going to take this. I'm going to run it. I'm going to do it the way it needs to be done. And I want to make sure everybody's happy. And you were wonderful at that.
Right. I mean, again, because of what, Hubert, my sister's husband at that time, And his musician friends kept telling me, they kept saying, save your money, learn how to read music. I mean, they were just pumping things in my head to be, a great musician and be able to survive the industry. That is the key, to survive the industry.
Well, Sal's a survivor, right, Sal?
Yeah, but the only thing that was missing with me, I mean, we did everything. The only thing I didn't have was a major record contract. But I had friends of mine that had major record deals with major labels, but yet they were still opening up for me in the clubs because we were packing the house, Yeah,
it happens that way. I mean, just because you have a deal or don't have a deal, that doesn't mean you can't have a great music career.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I played. We would pack the clubs everywhere, and bands that were on Epic Records were like opening up for us, and they had 3 people in the audience. So I mean, sometimes the record companies would sign these bands, so many different bands. It's like they're all out there, but they're not really pushing themselves to get promoted right.
Sure.
So me, I was promoting my stuff. So I'd make sure every time I played the gig, we had couple of hundred people at the club. So you got a club, you get a couple 100 people. It's like really crowded,
Yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, even with Klymaxx, what a lot of people don't know is that, our first 2 albums didn't do that well. Everybody remembers us with the Meeting in the Ladies' Room album, but that was our 3rd album. And technically it was really our 4th because the 3rd one was never even, fully finished and distributed. As a matter of fact, I think we did 1 song on it. So, I mean, Meeting in the Ladies' Room was not our first record. We had, we didn't have the right distributors. And like I said, Solar had created another label for us to be, distributed by MCA, who really put a lot of money and push behind us. So, there's just a stair step sometimes, that even though we were signed immediately, that didn't mean we had the hit immediately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And what year did you get signed? What year was it exactly?
Our contract started January 1, 1981.
81.
Yeah.
The very beginning of the 80s, because that song "Miss You" was mid 80s, wasn't it? The song.
Yeah, that was 86. That was actually 86. Yeah,
86. But I remember it. My wife, even though my wife saw the poster, she goes, "You have that? I know that song." She started singing along. She said, "Yeah." I said, "She's going to be on my show tonight." She was like, "Oh, wow, that's cool." I said, "Yeah. That's." She goes, "I loved it." She started singing. I had to keep the poster going until the end of the song. And so that was 86 was a good time. You had the video on MTV and all that stuff, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, Meeting in a Ladies' Room also had dropped when they started doing video, because a lot of people didn't understand what an all-female band looked like, or even though it'd be on the radio, our first album, they'd say, "Oh, here's a band called Klymaxx." The second album, "Oh, here's the band Klymaxx." By the 3rd album, it's like, "Oh, and here's Klymaxx." Because they had a video of us. Our first video was the Men All Pause. They were like, "Oh, that's what an all-female band looks like." And so, the visual definitely makes a big difference.
Sure. And I always liked all-female bands because I always enjoyed watching women play and sing. I thought that was really cool to have a whole, like the Go-Go's and the Bangles. So there's so many 80s they were coming out later on, I mean, the Go-Go's was pretty early in time, but
actually we were kind of at the same time, but they their records, were more popular at first, and then we kind of came out after. Not really came out, but our notoriety came out after they, hit the scene and stuff. But there was also a band in the 70s, all-female band called the Runaways.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Sherry Curry's in that band.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what the story about Joan Jett. I don't know if her band was an all-female band or she was an all-female band, but something about her, her career, I think, sparked that also. So, I mean, there have always been all-female bands out there playing somewhere. Somewhere.
That's very true. No, that's very true. What you say, you're right. So during your career, is there anybody that you ever wanted to meet and never met? Or played with and didn't play with?
Well, I never really got a chance to ever meet the Jacksons or the Jackson 5. I think that would have been, pretty neat for me. Prince walked by us fast.
Prince was at one of my gigs at the China Club. You know that?
Oh yeah.
He was in disguise. He's sitting at the table, Prince.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he had a disguise on at the China Club. That's the kind of place it was. You're on the stage, like the clubs in LA. You're on the stage and you got celebrities hanging out in the audience.
Yeah.
So that's how the China Club was,
And I think nowadays, the artist that I would love to be on a show with would be Bruno Mars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's very, very good.
Yeah.
Wasn't he related to one of them people too? He's related to somebody that's in music, I thought. I think it's the Houstons or something.
Bruno Mars' parents were musical people, yes.
Yeah, but who were they?
His sister also was. I forgot the names, but
yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Bruno Mars is a little kid. He used to dress up like Elvis Presley.
Yeah,
and sing and dance like Elvis Presley. Yeah. And he was incredible. He's got some I have 2 of his CDs. He's got some good songs. The songs are really good.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Cheryl, the music business lives and dies by the song. Without a great song, it's all about the songs.
Yeah.
I mean, I see bands that are successful that the songs I can't even listen to 2 seconds ago. I'm like, what is that? It's the truth. And I'm not afraid to say it. I know so many bands that I can't even listen to. It's like my ears bleed. It's just that real trash, hard stuff. I'm like, I can't listen to this. I'm a melody man. I like good melodies and pop, nice songs. Going back to, I was born in 1960. And I love all the stuff from the 50s, that really nice, beautiful melodies.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the song, Tonight, more than any time before. I mean, that's beautiful. Who the hell wants that? Your mother. Who the hell wants that? Get the hell out of here. But everybody, there's an audience for everything. That's the thing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's all different styles. There's all that. I remember the punk rock came up.
There's something out there for every listener. I tell these artists, don't be discouraged because so and so is playing this kind of music, because rest assured there's an audience for your style of music. Just get out there and do it. Take the chance, get out there and do it.
Absolutely. And the 80s was a great time for music, but there was a lot of different things. You had different things going on.
Disco ending, right? Disco ending, and then all the 80s punk coming in.
And the colors. Remember the colors, neon colors? Oh my gosh, I love the 80s colors. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 80s was, I think, Prince, you had Michael Jackson, all different, and everything was cool. And then later on, it's became all heavy metal or all whatever it was, and that's all that Seattle sound started coming in, and with the shorts and the plaid shirts. What the funny thing is too, the heavy metal thing. I mean, I know everybody in the heavy metal scene, and I was not a big heavy metal person. I'm a pop, rock and roll, normal guy.
Yeah.
And I remember there was so many of those glam bands in the 80s in LA. That when a female band came out, remember the band called Vixen? They were all female girls.
Vixen, Vixen, yeah.
Yes.
I remember being in the record store, and I'm looking at the Vixen, and I said, wow, these girls look just like guys. It was backwards. I got so used to seeing all the guys look like women.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the women look like guys. Wait a minute, I got that backwards. Look, Cheryl can't even look at the camera. It's the truth. I said, I'm looking at Vixen. I said, wow, these chicks are hot. They look like guys. I said, wait a minute. That's not guys. Because all the guys were wearing the spandex and the lipstick and glam and all that stuff. So they didn't look like girls.
That's all part of the costume.
I'm going to get in trouble on this show. But the truth of the matter is, it's it's exactly the truth, I think. That the whole 80s thing was so much glam, And it became more... People get signed more from fashion than songs.
It's all a part of the costuming.
Right. Yeah. But it was good to have a band that had good songs and the different images.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at one point, it seemed like the bands were getting signed just by the image, not even because of the songs.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm wrong by saying that, but there's a lot of bands that were getting record deals because of just the way they looked, you know?
That is true. That is true. The music wasn't also great, but because they looked the part,
yeah,
they got the record contract. That is so true.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm not saying they weren't talented. It's just that the music, you know, it didn't meet at that time frame, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
a lot
Cheryl,
of times, yeah.
when you started out, who was your biggest influences in music? Was it R&B, country? Who was it?
Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh my God. Was he the number one? Or
no, I mean, you know, playing guitar. Of course, I saw guitar bands with guitars on TV. You know, you know, groups like, I don't know, the Monkees, the Beatles, all those groups, you know, were still on TV. But it was the funk of Sly and the Family Stone that clicked for me. And I mean, hey, I say I'm a funketeer. I mean, my heart, my funk music is my number one for me, you know.
awesome.
And of course, you know, I mean, I was never really a jazz person, but you know, still to see somebody like George Benson, you know, playing with his, you know, style and stuff like that. You know, Luther, even though it's a little later, but you know, all those guitar players, it still was something there for me to grasp. And I had a chance to kind of hang with Ray Parker right before signing with Klymaxx, and you know, I played guitar. You know, I brought my guitar. You know, started playing, and he said one statement to me that changed my playing style forever. And he said, "It's not what you're playing; it's how you're playing it." And from there on, my style just, you know, soared, because I could finally understand. Yeah, you can play a C chord, but if you play a C chord like this, it's going to make a difference. So yeah, I just had the opportunity to, you know, sit and play guitar with him a few times, and it just really changed my style. And again, I mean, funk music was my love. So marrying those two ideas together is, you know, my basic style of playing.
And you know, something else I learned too as a musician, but you know, you're more accomplished. It's when I talk to the musicians, they said it's not about when to play, it's when not to play. Right? So you get that little bit of space in between, and you're unique with it.
Yeah,
a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, even like when I was learning how to play, you know, I don't know, I guess the 70s and 60s music, you know, there was a lot of strumming going on and stuff. You know, the late 70s and 80s, there's a little more picking going on. Mm-hmm. So, you know, as the decades changed, the style of guitar contribution changed also.
Slapping the bass was big too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That became another thing. Sal, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what's his name in Sly and Family Stone? Larry Graham changed the whole style of how people play bass. You know, so
yeah. Yes, he did.
Wanna take it higher, higher, way up on the hill this time, baby. And I remember Woodstock. Were they great at Woodstock? Some of you might throw up the peace sign, but some of you think it might be old-fashioned. First of all, it is not a fashion, he said. This time I'm going to say, take it higher one more time, way up on the hill. Wanna take it higher, higher. Yeah. There's still some people that won't do it. Remember that in Woodstock?
Yeah.
I loved that atmosphere when Sly and the Family Stones was on, because it was nighttime and they were so funky, and they had the balloons going in the audience. It was just such a great atmosphere. I love that at the Woodstock. You know? And
something that they'll never be able to reproduce ever again, you know, because it was happenstance. It just happened naturally. And to try to plan something like that is never going to be the same.
Yeah, even Live Aid.
I have the Sly and the Family Stone's first album, also the greatest hits on vinyl, you know, and CD. Loves it. What about Parliament? You must have loved Parliament too, right?
Tower of Power.
Parliament.
Oh, Parliament. Yeah, it you know, Parliament has such a free. Not sure when you're going to play it, but you're going to play it. Yes, it was funk, but the whole planned structured was more for me. But it's not that I didn't like them, but it just flowed too freely for me.
It was. I think Parliament was just trying to be a little bit different. He had that image and the way he's just trying to do something a little different. Everybody was trying to do something different to stand out. But to me, no matter what you do, it's all about the songs.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, you dress up like Boy George. I met Boy George, and oh Jesus! I said, "Who's this hot mama over here?" I'm so bad. I met them all. I mean, you know,
you're making her laugh. Listen, you're making her laugh.
I'm glad. You're doing a good job. You're making everybody laugh tonight. So.
Now we're having a good time. But Sal did meet a lot of people at that China Club. He really did. I mean, so many great celebrities, and he played with them, and they played with him, and you know, it was just an amazing time.
And a lot of them I'm still very good friends with. I still keep in touch with you. I have their phone numbers depending on who it is. And you know, I just Nile Rodgers. You know Nile Rodgers. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, me and him keep in touch. And I always tell him I got some songs now. Come on, you know anybody who needs some good Christmas songs? I need to get some songs recorded out there. You know, but and we had Steve Thompson on the show. Steve Thompson's worked with everybody. It's the Rolling Stone producer. But yeah. So let me ask you something. I was gonna ask a question. Did you ever play any arenas or just like an arena? Did you ever play Madison Square Garden or anything like that?
Yeah, we played arenas. There used to be a I want to call it. It was produced by Al Heyman, who was a concert promoter, and he had these concerts every year in big stadiums. And I remember playing San Diego, whatever that stadium is, Jack something stadium, and it was so huge and so many people that when we would hit a note or a beat, they would hear it like seconds later. So their response, you know, like we go, "Hey."
It was a delayed
reaction, yeah.
And
like our phones.
You know, people warned us about this. You know, you're gonna hear it's gonna be a slight delay, but that doesn't mean they can't hear you. So, you know, that was one of the bigger stadiums that we played that I really remember. And then, you know, one time we played Miami Beach, where there was like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60,000 people. I mean, just a sea of people along the beach. And I remember them telling us, it's going to be hot out there, so you may not want to wear your stage outfit.
Isn't that the greatest when it's like an ocean of people? Like the more the merrier. I love that, you know?
Yeah. So
now
we
guys
big audiences, you know. I wish I had kept a better record of all the places that we played at the time. You know, I did find an old phone book, kind of had, you know, a phone book calendar that had a few, you know, of our earlier dates on it. But I really wish I would have kept better notes. And that I'm saying that for these, you know, new artists out here, and these, you know, just keep as many notes as you can, because you're going to wind up going back and looking at something, whether it's for nostalgia, whether it's to write your memoirs, or whether it's to say, hey, remember when we played, and you have the information, you know, oh yeah, we did, you know, just out of memories and stuff. It's just so important. But, you know, I think we do better now documenting things because we have cameras in our phones and stuff. Yeah. But at that time, I really wish I would have kept better notes of all the different places that we played at.
Yeah. And I'm sure if you would have had the phone back then like we have now, you would have been filming the audience in front of you, everybody. That I mean, like, how could you want to remember that forever? You know, it's in your head, but it's nice to have it on film and watch it. Like, look at that audience, you know.
For sure, yeah.
Now you guys got signed in. Okay, now in '86 you had this record. Were you guys asked at all to do Live Aid at all? Do you know?
No. I don't know if Live Aid was. I guess it was '86. Yeah.
85, right? 1985?
85.
Oh, yeah, we were never asked to do that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I know you guys were happening big time around that time frame. You had hit song and all that.
Yeah.
And did you get heavy rotation on MTV with the
we never made MTV at that time. We were big on BET. I'm not sure about VH1. We might, if we were on VH1, it would only been I Miss You. They
Yes.
weren't playing a lot of our stuff on MTV and VH1 at the time, but we were definitely in heavy rotation on BET. Because remember,
Miss You.
it's the start of it. MTV had just kind of broke into the market, so it was a new thing. Not sure what the audiences were gonna like or not like, or try to stay in one lane where they knew they would keep their audiences. But we did, I want to say 6 videos. I'd have to go back and check, but I think we did 6 videos total.
Yeah, Miss You was I know I've seen it on VH1 or something, but my wife knows this very well and the video. So I mean, they must have played it. Maybe they should. Back then they also had Friday night videos on regular TV. Remember Friday night videos?
Oh yeah,
It could have been on there. I bet they played it on there. But I've seen it too. I remember it well.
Sure. Yeah.
And I watched it recently again. I said, yeah, I remember seeing this video a couple of times. Yeah. And I used to watch all those shows that showed videos. Friday night videos, VH1, MTV. I tell you, when MTV first arrived, I thought I was watching horror movies. I couldn't believe how freaky some of the songs, like Flock of Seagulls.
Yeah.
And I ran so he's holding on one keyboard so far with the freaked out hair, all spacey. So it was like kind of scary at the same time. It's like a horror movie. I swear, I couldn't believe it. It was great. I was enjoying it, but it was kind of freaky.
Well, but remember, we were in real time inventing how videos were going to come on across.
Right.
We didn't have a script. We had to do it right on the spot,
So the story of I Miss You in the video, that kind of goes through the lyrics of the song type of thing, like a walk through the song.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not really a song about, a male-female relationship. It's really about, your family or whoever you're close to, missing them, thought I heard your voice yesterday. That could be a relative, a teacher.
That's what I related to. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be, so basically the song was, where it encompassed, all sorts of missing or affectionate type of relationships, not just one type. And, one of the key things that song really, reason why it had become successful too, is because a lot of people thought Michael Jackson was singing it. Her voice sounded like, it could have been Michael Jackson. A lot of, even today, people say, I thought that song was done by Michael Jackson. So a lot of people bought that thinking that it was him. And then, they see another group, it's like, well, yeah, but I like the song. So, that song actually became gold by itself in Canada.
Wow. So just the sound of sounding like Michael Jackson. Wow, that's awesome. But my wife had that question. She wanted to know, where's some of the artists that opened up for you?
Oh gosh.
Not all, just some,
Yeah. So I got a crush on you. What was that family? The Jets. Ready for the World. Oh gosh. The System. You are my, that one. Oh gosh, those are the ones I can really think of right now. I think I want to say the oh gosh, not Culture Club. They're from maybe Miami.
The Miami Sound Machine?
No.
King Creole and the Coconuts?
No. And I've done a show with her, and I came.
Oh, it's a single female singer?
No, well, it was her, and then there was some guys singing with her. But anyway, that's another group that probably opened up for us. I think they were in the same era that we were out.
Paul said DeBarge.
We did do a show with DeBarge, but it was a military tour that we did with them. We never really went on a national tour with them. It was a military tour that we did. But a few, and even now, doing old school shows, we'll say, oh, I remember when we did that show, and so yeah.
She wanted to know if it was Gloria Estefan.
No, it wasn't that. Oh gosh, I know.
Everybody's gonna guess. You're gonna be guessing all night now.
I know. And wait a minute. I need. If my phone was on, I'd go find her name in my phone. And so
By the way, Paul, we did do a shout out because Paul might have missed the shout out. He's on now. So, Paul, we did the shout out as soon as we opened up the show about we all said hello to you. So, just in case you didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cheryl, are you writing anything new now in going into new stuff or
right
coming out soon?
We do have a couple of current singles that are out there. They're on the website Klymaxx.com. They're on iTunes. One of the songs is called For Woman. It's kind of a woman's anthem, talking about what Klymaxx is about as far as empowering women in any field, not just music. And then we also have a single called Love Me that has a video out that we just released, that it's also on the website and on YouTube. So yeah, just check out Klymaxx.com. All the links are right there where you can find everything and our calendar and how to buy tickets and sign up for the newsletter.
And you're still selling merchandise as well, right?
Oh, definitely selling merchandise. Definitely selling merchandise.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, is that T-shirt? You're on the T-shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just a guitar. I didn't see the bottom stuff.
Oh, yeah.
My wife wants one, and so do I. How do we get it?
It says an experience you won't forget and a feeling. Oh, experience worth remembering and a feeling you won't forget.
Oh, wow. Thank you. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, baby.
Listen, if you don't promote yourself, who else will, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, is there a website where we could buy the T-shirt if we want
to? Yeah,
right
there on Klymaxx.com. That's KLYMAXX.com.
Oh, now, is there a different price and different sizes? Because
yes,
there is.
It goes from small to I think 4 or 5X. So yeah, there's all sizes.
So now, like on eBay, if you buy a T-shirt, it's like if it's extra large, it's let's say $14.99. If it's 2XL, it's $18.99. I guess as you get bigger, is that the way it works? So is that the same or no?
I mean, I think it's only $1 extra, like for the super large ones, but yeah, not $5.
No, I gotta check it out.
And let me add something to that, because when you buy extra large and it's a small Asian man is wearing it, it's not extra large for a guy like me. No, it won't fit. I can't even
even though it says XL, it'll say what the sizes are in parentheses, so you know what you're getting.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
those are really nice.
I bought my own shirts for Christmas. I'm like, they're all extra large, but they don't fit me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
They're all rock shirts, and I can't wear them.
Oh.
Well, I'll give you my address, Gene. I'll wear them.
I'll send them to you.
I was only kidding. Yeah.
We got about 15 minutes left, Cheryl. So,
yeah, sure. I'm going with the flow here.
What do you want people to know about you and your band, and what is the final message that you want to tell everybody about it?
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, first of all, I want the audience to always enjoy the show because we're having fun, and we want to draw in that fun. We exchange the fun. We're there because they're there. They're there because we're there. Just having a lot of the music is fun. It's not about, my man left me, he beat me down the stairs, and now I got a bloody eye. We don't have those songs,
Like the blues, right?
Yeah.
Happy songs, even with meeting in the ladies' room, it's about, talking about your man in the ladies' room, that kind of, it's still a fun thing, just the whole legacy and the concept of being a woman in the music industry is no joke. And if we can be an example that you can pursue the career you want, whether it's sewing, painting rocks, making a website, if we can be that example that, gosh, they went through all that and they're still standing today and still performing their music, then let me go over here with the project I had in my desk drawer and work on it a little bit more, just to be an inspiration, not just for women, but, for anyone who has a slight concept of an idea of their their creative juices flowing into something. If we are an example or an inspiration to that, then my job is done, because I just want to inspire people to pursue what their passion is, or what their love is, or what they feel good doing. I feel great being up on stage and performing. I mean, it could be 5,000 people, it could be 5 people. If we're enjoying the whole vibe and everything, then my job is done. I mean, I've done what I've come to do, and that's to enjoy the music and enjoy the environment. To inspire somebody to do the same is my goal. The music of the 80s, it's always going to be fun. People still love the 80s music. I'm not saying that the other decades don't have great music, but it was something about the energy of the 80s that people still tap into or plug into. I mean, we have a couple of 80s clubs now, and they stay packed. The colors, the music, the whole life situation at that time, to be, even if you weren't born at that time, to be in the environment of the fun times that were going on in the 80s. And we played there, at a couple of those clubs. And, people really talk about how, they remember the music or what they were doing during the time the music was being on the radio. To go to our website and see what some of the videos and see the fun that we're having and enjoy those videos. If you see some of the merchandise on there, it looks kind of fun. I mean, we have a guitar keychain that also works as a bottle opener when you're out at that club. Open up that bottle real fast, we have our Klymaxx colors are pink and black. So, you either get a pink shirt, you get a black shirt, whatever, kind of gets you into the fun mood. It's about having fun. I can't stress that enough. Life has got to be about fun at some point.
Cheryl, I got to say something real quick. My daughter, Danielle, I'm going to try to get you on her show, because her favorite colors and part of her show colors are pink and black.
Right. And so for Klymaxx, pink is about the femininity and black is about the strength, the power.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that if there's anything I may say or I may do to inspire somebody to go that next step, that's my goal. And it doesn't have to just be music, as I've said before. It could be pursuing medicine, if that's what you want. What you want to do.
We have one more question for you from Irene, and then Sal's
going to. Yeah, sure.
Cheryl, what was your inspiration for your musical career?
Yeah, like I said, my sister was married to a jazz musician. Now, I was around a lot of musicians at the time as a kid, and to think that you could, at that time thinking, playing an instrument's got to be fun, and you don't have to work a real job. Oh, I want to do that.
I used to do that as a kid too. I would look at my brother played guitar because he's 6 years older than me, and I didn't play yet, but I was a kid, and I used to take his guitar and pose in front of the mirror like an album,
And then even to write music. I mean, I was writing for the marching band in my high school, one song per football game. I mean, I was so absorbed with music that my teacher allowed me to learn how to arrange songs. So I would ask the class, what song do you want me to write out that you hear on the radio? And I had a week to write out the parts and give it to the teacher so they could rehearse it for the next football game. To think that I can write these little dots or these little notes and people will have to play what I wrote. It's kind of a power thing, writing music, arranging music, recording music. You get into the studio and you record and you can layer this. Well, nowadays you can layer a whole lot of things. But back then, when we did the demo tape, we only had 8 tracks and I had 9 ideas. And because I had hung out with, Hubert Laws and the recording studios, I knew how to, kind of splice the tracks. I don't know what the correct word is now because they don't do that anymore. But, kind of put the tracks together so that there would be more space to do more creativity. There was so many things, people, places that kind of poured into my life for me to kind of put it all together. And voila, Klymaxx was born. And not saying that I originated, but I am a founding member. But just to have that knowledge if I hadn't had that, or if I hadn't been there, I'm telling you, Klymaxx as we know today wouldn't have happened. So I'm honored to have been, what can I say, poured into from the universe to have these ideas and skills to be at the right place at the right time, to offer my knowledge and talent for an idea of an all-female band to make as big of an impression as it has done.
That's great. But while you're talking, I'm thinking about a lot of stuff, and I'm saying it was great that you signed and you had a band and you signed pretty quick, because you didn't have to deal with 10 years of playing around trying to get noticed and wear yourself out. So it was so exciting to do it so quick and learn all these new things and enjoying the process of it all, rather than playing 500 gigs for 10 years and then finally a record company recognizes it. By that time, you wish you didn't even get signed. You're like, oh, Jesus, I've had enough of this already. I can't. But
nowadays, not just like, even nowadays, things are different to where you can still make that great living and not have a recording deal. There's a lot of things out there like that. So, I mean, that just happened to be at the time that I came up for that to be a type of, outline. But nowadays, there's so many avenues to pursue your craft and pursue your art and make a living out of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have friends of mine that still play gigs. They never even got signed, but they play places and they get paid all the time. They all have run open mic jams.
Sure.
They get paid for running the open mic jams. I used to do that as well. And, just like you said, I mean, now, there's people on YouTube becoming millionaires just from their videos, and then they're unknowns.
Yeah, sure.
There's a girl I was just watching. Her name is Emily Lang, I think, Emily Lang. And she makes $5,000 a month just from her videos on YouTube. And she's not doing originals. She's just recording other people's songs.
Yeah.
She's just singing. I was watching some of them the other night. Just popular songs. Stand By Me, Starting Over by John Lennon, Bohemian Rhapsody with acoustic guitar. And she's built such a fan base that she's getting like $5,000, $6,000 a month from YouTube videos of singing other people's songs.
Yeah.
Not even original.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you said, it's all these days, you could just don't even have to go on tour. Just put on the video on YouTube and hopefully it goes viral and forget about it. You quit your day job.
And not to say that's good. That's really good. But I have a friend that's got over 1 million streams on Spotify. He got $20. So I'm being equal here.
Yeah, I know. I have a friend of mine that's had more than that. They got 1,000 bucks.
And I mean that's kind of ridiculous, but I as a musician and an artist, I mean I would feel insulted, but you got to take what you can take.
Yeah. I mean, things are definitely different now. I mean, we had a lot more.
It's all different completely.
Yeah, royalty avenues and stuff like that. The royalty scale was much different and bigger back then. But there's, even though you've got a recorded song, you should also think about doing something else to display that. I'm going to call it, doing something live or doing something, like you said, on YouTube, so people can visually see, because we're a very, very visual society, and people don't want to just hear it, but they also want to see it and experience it. So sometimes, putting together other platforms, ideas, promo type things can also contribute to the financial part to it. But it is unfortunate that you can have, so many streams and, have such a low dollar amount. That's very disappointing. I can tell you, it's very disappointing, But there's also things like SoundScan, and you can also get paid for, there's some avenue or platform where you can register your live performances and get paid for that, get some sort of residual for that. And I'll have to investigate what it is, because somebody told me about it. I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense, Well,
we're gonna release a Roku channel hopefully in the future, and I'm working on that now. But all live performances can be on there, and then you can charge for performance. And the more the artists get involved with you, the more money to bring, because the bigger artists are going to bring more money, and also a bigger fan base. So
yeah.
So this has been great. My God, anything last Sal say to Cheryl before we let her go? I hate to let her go, but she's.
Friends,
I could talk to her all night.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I got no appointments. You want to talk all night? I'm here. I'm just sitting. This way, the show will keep me from doing the laundry. This way, I don't have to work.
That's what I got to do. I got to do laundry for my wife.
First of all, Jim, thank you for introducing me to Cheryl. And now I'm sure we'll all be lifelong friends. And I'm glad you brought her on. Who's that, Fran? What does Fran say?
Fran says, laugh out loud.
She's laughing out loud. That's Fran that could do the show tonight. But
I'm actually in the process of having my house repiped, the copper piping. Yeah. So my laundry dishwashing schedule has been really thrown off schedule.
Oh, geez. Listen, it happens to everybody. It really, I mean, you don't have to be a doctor, lawyer, or anything. It just can happen.
Yeah.
And now me and Cheryl become friends on Facebook.
Okay, yeah.
We are. We're already friends on Facebook.
Cool. Yeah.
Right.
Cheryl, come in anytime and say hi. Come in anytime and comment. It's always welcome. But before you go, I want to ask you one thing. Can you do a sweeper for the radio station?
Did I do what again?
Can you do a liner or a sweeper for the radio station?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Now,
who you are, and you're listening to Hamilton Radio Oldies, because that's where we're on Alexa and Google.
Okay. Who I am, and we're listening to
Hamilton Radio
Oldies. Okay. All right. Ready? Here we go. Hey, this is Cheryl Cooley of the all-female band Klymaxx, and you're listening to Hamilton. Now, you see, I forgot. Just that fast.
Hamilton Radio Oldies. Well, here, let me tell you, Cheryl, these are the best ones. I love keeping this in. It makes it
great. Right? Hamilton Radio Oldies. Okay, I'm going to try it again. Here we go. Hey, this is Cheryl Cooley of the all-female band Klymaxx, and you're listening to Hamilton
Radio. Listen, Rich Little did it 3 times.
Now I feel like I'm back on the set of a movie or something like that.
I love Cheryl. She's so cool.
You see this plate?
Great. No,
you see this plate? You see this plate? I'm gonna write it down. You see this plate? Oh, and I get a pen that doesn't even write.
Cheryl, take your time. Cheryl, take your time. Believe me, I'm not trying to stress you out.
I definitely got to get me one of those T-shirts.
We're definitely going to buy one, me and her.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Hamilton Radio.
Oldies.
Radio.
Oldies. That includes all the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all the songs. Even the 90s is old songs now.
You ain't kidding. Now you hear oldies, it's the 80s.
Whenever you're ready, Cheryl, just let it rip.
Hey, this is Cheryl Cooley of the all-female band Klymaxx, and you're listening to Hamilton Radio Oldies. Yeah.
You got it. Thank you. Thanks for the interview. We love you so much, Cheryl. And listen, I'm going to get you on my daughter's show. And I don't know, Sal, you want to get her anywhere else? She's always willing to do stuff. That's what I love about her.
Definitely. And we'll go.
And Cheryl, send anybody our way too, because this is what we do.
Okay. Yeah. It was great. I had a good time.
Thank you.
Time went by fast. It wasn't, sometimes you can get those interviews and it's like, okay. But this was nothing like that. It seemed like it was, boom. It was.
We get that all the time from celebrities, but that's because we try to make it calm and easy and relaxing, because you go through enough tension in your life,
Yeah,
she's on Facebook. Yeah, my wife wants to friend you. She's a children's book author, my wife.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, yeah. She might want to send me a message, because I have so many. I gotta delete a few to make some room.
Me too.
When there's room, yeah. That's great.
So goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being on here. Bye, Fran. Bye, Implant Truth Survivors. Bye, Irene Rogers. Look what he's doing. Goodbye, everybody. Paul, thank you for making the banners, and Sal for being here, and of course, our wonderful guest, Cheryl Cooley of Klymaxx. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Wish you the best, and
baby.
Have a great night. Okay, guys, we are leaving. Bye.
Bye.
We are